The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Tsuburaya Productions. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of First Impressions.
Yes.
Marcus and Jacob here with our first impressions on Ultraman Blazar.
Yes.
The newest Ultraman to start airing.
Yes, because it is blazing outside.
Apropos.
He made the joke, I just copied it.
It's fine. You've done it before.
It's
Still not as bad as the time you stole Darth Megatron from me. Where I got so mad I left.
Such a good show.
It was.
Oh, yeah. So.
The opening. We'll start with the opening.
I like the opening.
I think it's quite good.
I like the ending more.
The ending's also good.
Yeah. I honestly think that the ending should have been the opening in some cases.
I think it works.
Yeah, it does. But I just like the ending a little bit more than the opening, which is a weird thing to say, but we're also coming off of Denzi Man where both were peak. So.
Oh, boy. I can still hear them both clear as day.
Alright. Blazar. Yeah, the opening and ending are both really good. I definitely suggest just listening to them. The show proper, the first 3 episodes.
This show is off to a very, very, very strong start.
Yeah, I agree.
I really liked these first 3 episodes.
Same.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time Ultraman, really hooked me. Like, any Toku we watched. I mean, the first 3 episodes of King Oger, I thought those were pretty good.
Yeah, they were.
Those are pretty good. But as far as, really drawing me in...
Yeah.
And just, so many little character interactions that I was just, giggling at because they were so joyously good fun to watch.
Yep.
Oh, man. This show's off to a great start.
Yeah.
I never do this. I might actually watch this one week to week.
I might
actually watch this one week to week. It's left such a strong impression on me.
It's something about it is just this is hitting my buttons. This is hitting the right button.
And I'll tell you one of the reasons why this is, at least for me, one, I'm really glad we got an older protagonist.
Yes, we got the captain this time.
Yes, the fact that the captain of the team is the Ultraman this time, it feels less cartoony.
Yeah.
This time around, I mean, the opening of the movie, the opening of the first episode, let's start there. Strong vibes of Godzilla 2014 with the Halo jump.
Yeah.
Where, because I did not look at any of the casting announcements prior to this, but the way they shoot it and the way everyone is displayed with equal importance and a lot of characters have lines, you're not quite sure who the protagonist is.
Yeah.
The way that it's shot and the way, the script is spaced out. But yeah, it's just them, and it's like a squad of soldiers. They're in some kind of a vehicle. We don't know whether it's ground, air, sea, whatever. But they're going along, and one of them is sitting very pensively. He's thinking, and we hear a rookie speak up. The rookie who, in the past 3-4 shows we've had, it feels like that's who the protagonist would be.
Yeah.
And this time around, no, the captain who was sitting pensively, that's him, Captain Gento Hiruma,
who played Hart.
Oh, in Drive.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. He's very good in this.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, and then there's a kaiju. This whole episode takes place at night.
So it's expensive. They spent money on this.
They spent money on this. They spent money on Monster Blood, dude.
Akiba Ranger has really colored everything that we watch. At night.
Night filming is expensive.
Yeah, that's why Fives only did 2 episodes at night, and that was it. But yeah, they made sure.
They jump out of a plane and they have jetpacks strapped to their hands that they use to boost down to the ground, and there's a big kaiju down there just wrecking havoc, blowing stuff up. We see multiple command posts. Which gave me Shin Godzilla vibes.
Yeah.
Or even Shin Ultraman.
Yeah.
Where we had the multiple mobile command posts in office buildings and whatnot as we see a kaiju out in the distance that is wrecking shop.
Yep.
And one of the, I think it's the rookie, or the rookie who gets injured and stranded, separated from the team.
Because they have multiple units, and a couple of units actually get wiped out. Which is, once again, Tsuburaya does so good with their miniature work, because you're in an office building and you see the monster walk by, and everything is shaking.
Yeah, everything's
in the
shaking.
building. They do so good. And just giving scale and gravitas.
Also, I mean, there's a moment in this where an airstrike happens, where they airstrike the kaiju, and we see in one of the mobile command sites in an office, And the way you see everyone, like, brace.
Yeah.
You see everyone brace for impact. And then from, like, a long shot, you see the missiles hit the kaiju. And everyone is just, like, braced for impact. And then you hear the explosion, and it's kind of like a muted... Like it's loud, but, like, it's far away. And then a few moments later, and you feel the shockwave, and they all, like, whoa, and they're all jostled by it. Like, that was really good. Really good stuff.
This feels older. In a good way.
It feels more mature, I would say.
I think that's a better word for it. It does feel a lot more mature, and I think that's the way that we're going
less
for it.
Less shonen, more seinen.
Yeah, after the past several, they're shying away from that, and I think that's honestly the best thing they could have done here. Mm-hmm. It felt good. It feels good to watch this and just experience that.
Because, but getting back to the plot, we see the rookie injured, and then we see Captain Hirume does the little pensive thing again. And we see that we're led to assume he might be precognition. Yeah. He might be able to see the future in some respect. And one of those futures, he, like, leaps off the building, uses his rocket boosters to fly away, and he does that. He gets to where the rookie is, and he's, like, cornered by the kaiju, and then the transformation device appears on his arm.
Well, I don't think it's more him being precognitive. I think it's just him, all right, I'm picturing this. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, he's he's, like, that good at strategizing. Because earlier on the flight, when the rookie's kind of freaking out about what's about to go down, one of the other soldiers is like, "You see how the captain's doing that? Whenever he does that, things usually work out okay." Yeah, and I thought that was a great line. But yeah, and then the transformation device appears on his arm. He gets a little coin in his hand, and, like, red lightning draws him.
Yeah, he's being forced.
Yeah, it's like red lightning is forcing him to put it in there, and then blue lightning forces him to push the button to activate it. And he transforms into Ultraman Blazar.
Which is a suit that I love.
I was going to say, we haven't talked about aesthetics a lot on our reviews lately, but Ultraman Blazar's suit I really like.
It looks, like, old. And not, like, ancient or anything. Well, in this case, it actually sort of is. But it looks like it's not finished. And I think that's the thing that makes it stand out as much as it does. Mm. Because he's supposed to be... Like,
it's kind of got, like, an asymmetrical thing going on where you have, like, a lot of black...
And sharp lines.
Yeah, sharp lines. A lot of black, red, and white on one side. Mostly gray and black on the other. And he's got the one part of his helmet that flares up, or his head that flares up.
Yeah, in this case, it's like... The planet that he's from, he's not from the world of light like a lot of the other Ultras are. Yeah. He's an Ultraman from a primitive world. So that's why when you see him fight, he's, like, growling and jumping at the
one nitpick I have, and it's not like it's not a deal breaker or anything, but it's the noises that he makes.
Oh, I love it.
I think they're modified a little too much.
They could be.
Sometimes it sounds like somebody screaming underwater, and it happens a little too much, but I do like that. I like that we're not getting, like, a, Mind Palace cockpit view. Yeah. As we have with many other Ultras. Like, this is him. This is like this guy's. I think Gaia might have been the last time we saw this.
Something like it, because they ended up
at least that's how it feels.
Like the Ultras themselves really embodying the person that was.
Yeah, because past Ultra, it's like you are in the Mind Palace cockpit. You are helping puppet this giant body that has a mind of its own. And in this one, it's like he transforms into like, as you said, like a primitive beast. Yeah. A primitive beast who walks like a man.
And he also has, like, this stance, which is, like, weirdly, I'm getting, like, weird, like, archaic, like, Muay Thai or, like, Aztec fighting or something like that. It's such a weird stance. Kind of like I sort of love it.
There's a lot of, like, wrestling in his fighting style.
Yeah, but there's also, like, a lot of...
Wrestling, grappling...
It feels like Muay Thai.
You think
Weirdly
so?
enough. Like, some of the movements that he does is like, oh, I've seen that in Muay Thai fighters. Mm.
So what's an example you can think of?
It's a lot of elbows, a lot of knees.
Because I know Muay Thai, it's a lot of elbows and knee strikes. I didn't really notice that as much as I did a lot of, like, grappling and just a lot of, like, trying to overpower him physically.
I saw it a little bit more in episode 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, I noticed that. I was just like, oh, he's really going for the hard bone.
He's going for the hard bone, and it makes sense because in episode 3, the monster, his skin is, like, as they say on the show, 1 million degrees.
Yeah, it's hot
at one point because the monster is burning up.
I'll talk about this. because I watched it this morning.
Go ahead. So did I.
When he touched the monster, he had to do it a couple of times to like realize like, oh, hot. And I love that.
And I also love. I don't know if it's Gento's. Is it Gento's actor doing the voice?
I don't believe so. He might be. I don't know though.
Because whoever it is that's doing the voice of him, the way he. Because you can clearly hear, like, there is, like, Japanese speech pattern in the way that... but it's, like, you know, the way they modulate it and modify it to make it sound, you know, like a big voice coming from that thing is pretty cool. And, I mean, if we could go back to the first episode, I mean, that moment where he is facing off against the kaiju and he just kind of roars at it, that's such a cool moment.
It's like, oh, this ain't your daddy's. This is our Ultra.
He's just like, you know, chest forward, arms back, and just like...
It's so, like, primate.
Yeah, it's bestial.
Yeah. Beast Wars.
Well, that's just prime. Jeez. But yeah, and then, because the kaiju in the first episode, it's got two arms on its guns on its arms. Ultraman rips them off. And there is blood, and I loved it. There is just gooey blue monster blood spouting from those wounds, and it was glorious.
And
I loved it.
The thing with in episode 2 where he has to use his light spear as a fishing rod, it drags the monster out and it throws the spear through it as tail to head.
I was gonna say it comes through its butt and out of the top of its head, and then it looks like a grilled piece of fish over a fire, and then it explodes. I love that light spear weapon.
It's so cool.
The fact that he summons it as a spear of light, and then he just chucks it like a javelin full force. Like you said, in the second episode, he uses it as a fishing rod. In the third episode, he uses it close quarters after the monster drains its energy from its super beam.
And that part was so cool where he stabbed it and then like it's caught in the explosion. Mm-hmm. That was just cool. It's not something you see often because usually Ultraman is over there doing Space Jam Ray on the other side of the city. Yeah. But in this case, like no, up close and personal.
It's multi-purpose.
Spear through the everything.
Through the everything. Through the stomach, through wherever.
And then the monster just explodes. Yeah. It was something tells me that the beam of light that happened at the end of episode 3 that the monster shot off is going to do something going forward.
It could. I tell you, one effect that I do love seeing in movies is when some sort of attack or atmosphere effect causes clouds to just go poof, and that happens when he pushes the beam up.
So I'm saying like something happened when he did that, when the monster did that.
Well, I think that was just the monster's like super attack, and he was pointed it, you know, at Ultraman, and likewise like the surrounding area would have been devastated, and he just managed to like using raw strength against his scalding hot skin, his 1,000,000-degree skin, managed to just like push him up in time long enough for it to discharge.
I just think it's just one of those things where it's cause and effect, like it was supposed
to. You think something from space might see that and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check out what that is."
Yeah, something happened.
Could be
for that. And I'm saying like they spent a little bit too much time on it, so I'm just like, oh, something. I can't wait to see what happens going forward because this show does not have a main villain yet.
You know, I kind of love that.
Same.
Because the last couple of shows we've had Trigyar, we've had Chimera, her goons, and, you know, like whoever else. Belial is, you know, another example. In this one, it's Ultraman against the Kaiju.
Yeah. Which I think is a good thing. We don't always need a Mephilas or Zeton.
I mean, also recently we've had the Absolutions.
We don't really need them again.
Where we have the sentient, you know, Ultraman out in space fighting them.
Another Ultraman X, I guess. Did X have a villain?
No.
Yeah.
It was Ultraman against the Kaiju. In the end, you had the one monster who came and like...
the creepy as hell monster.
Yeah, that guy.
He
was in Monster Battle.
I know. No, he wasn't in Monster Battle.
Yeah, he was at the end. I think that was the same one, yeah.
No.
Pretty sure it was.
He got introduced in X. That was the first time he showed up. I do want him to come back for this show, though.
Good. Well, we'll see.
Because of the way that this show's tone is going, picture him in this. Picture the fear. Picture that thing in this.
I want to talk about the Kaiju designs.
And the fact that they're all new
so far. The fact that all three of them so far have been really good.
And new.
They've been new, they've been good. It's so nice because in the past couple of shows, it'll be like the first Kaiju, and the first episode looks really nice. And then it's like, all right, we we've blown our kaiju budget, bring the ratty old Showa ones out of the closet, dust them off, vacuum them, clean out the moths, and
sometimes they'll give an update.
And then go ham on it.
It's not just Gamora, it's Space Gamora.
It's Space Gamora. Space Godzilla.
Came from Space Australia.
Go Space Dingoes. Streisand. Anyway, so,
yeah, they're all new, and I've just really been enjoying. It's like, all right, we're spending some time and budget.
My favorite one so far has been the one from the second episode, the amphibious one, the fish monster.
Yeah, I can see that.
The moment where it comes on the shore and it's attacking the fish paste factory to eat. I love the attention to detail there, because when it pulls its head up out of the factory. And its mouth, like both inside and out of its mouth, are just covered in like pink goop. Because it's been like feasting on the fish paste in there. I was like, that is such a lovely attention to detail.
I love it.
And when its mouth opens, it's just like gross and just like pink fish paste is spilling everywhere. I'm like, I love that somebody paid attention. This is great.
They're doing so good. Like the characters. I love Gento.
We haven't talked about the characters yet. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, so... We get to know Gento first. We see a little bit of Emmy in the first episode.
Yeah, not much, but we do get to see her because she's the one who fires the rocket.
Who fires the rocket that kind of disables the kaiju.
Yeah.
So Ultraman can take it out.
They hit it at the wrong spot.
Yeah, she hits it in the nostril so it can breathe in whatever gas was in there. I was a little hesitant at first because it's like she's wearing like a tactical vest and then like shorts and a hoodie. So it was like, okay, why is she dressed like that when everyone else is dressed in tactical gear? That seems a little weird. I don't know is this a character we're going to take seriously? But then we meet her in the next episode and she's great.
I really like her.
I like that she has a multifaceted personality. When it's time for the mission, she's all Wilco. And, she's ready for action. Her specialty is like ranged combat and intel gathering.
Yeah.
So that's what she is. And I want to talk a little bit about the setup first. I love the scene where he is meeting with it's the chief of staff.
Oh, yeah.
Gento is meeting with him, and it's like, so, Captain Himuro, we saw your... Hiruma, sorry. Captain Hiruma, we saw your performance. He's like, yes, I'm sorry. It was... He's like, he says, your performance wasn't bad, and then Hiruma counters with, but it wasn't that good either. And he's like, humility and modesty, I like it. But that's not going to cut it from here on out. And he's like, from here on out, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, as of now, you're being transferred. You are now captain of SKaRD. And that's when, and then we get our little recruitment scene, which I love. I love scenes of going around and pulling the team together. And
Yasunobu, who we actually end up meeting last. Mm-hmm. Henri and Teraraki.
Teraraki, yes. And the way that he meets Emmy is great because he's sitting in a cafe. And he's like pouring over the dossier. And then Emmy just kind of comes, like runs over and sits with him, orders a bunch of food. And then he's like, wait, who are you? Oh. And then they have a great little conversation. And he tries to like pay for her check. And then she's like, no. And they have...
He's like, oh, look over there. And then it goes...
what's that, a mosquito bite? Thank you. That's a cute little exchange. And then he goes and recruits, the two of them, they go and they recruit, what's his name?
Teraraki.
Is it the second in command?
Yes.
Yes. So I love to see. I love getting to see like all their personalities shine through this recruitment scene. And Teraraki is very like stiff and rigid and by the book. And
he's a little bit goofy though, but I think in a good way.
He's kind of affable. I would say is a word I would use.
Chris abroad. But yeah,
he's very just kind of like he comes across as like very easily flummoxed, but he's very stiff and rigid. Oh, the phone call scene's great. Oh. But just they have that great comedic scene with him when they recruit him, where he has to sign the paperwork, and he's like, pen. Does anybody have a pen?
Actually, the signing part for both him and Henri.
And Henri is great
because Henri was in the dojo.
Is in the dojo
practicing, and
Henri is their pilot and close quarters combatant specialist.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. Because since she's in the dojo, there's no way to write anything, so she has to use his back.
But she's strong, so she pokes through and pokes him in the back with the pen, which like Emmy gets a chuckle out of. And as they're leaving, Gento pokes her in the back with a pen. I thought that was a great little moment. That's so funny, is it?
And also the fact that we don't have any romance set up between them because, as we see, he's married and has a kid.
That scene was incredible. It is so well done. It is a moment of quiet character. Let's get to know them. Just a quiet character moment.
Yeah.
Something you rarely see in Toku.
Sure.
Specifically, the last couple, especially, look at the last couple Ultramen we've reviewed. And then we had, smile, smile, and I have a catchphrase, and blah, 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 blah. And then you have this guy. We see him after the end of their long training session.
Sorry, you said smile, and my brain just shut down.
Sorry. But it's the end of the third episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the end of the third episode, they finished their, they've had like a grueling day of training. He's at his locker. He's putting his stuff on, getting ready to go away. And his locker is open, and we see, there on display is a picture of a woman with a little boy. And we're like, oh, is that his wife? We don't know. And then we get this great moment of him reaching into his locker, takes a little pouch out. A wedding ring comes out. He puts it into his hand. He kind of shakes a little bit. He just kind of looks at it pensively. And he almost hesitantly puts it on.
Yeah.
Are those two even still alive?
That is the question.
Are they still alive?
I think we got a flashback.
We got a flashback to... I think that flashback has to do with when he got the transformation device, when he linked to the Ultra.
Maybe
that's what I think it is
because the transformation device doesn't actually come on him until much later because it seems like he's not captain yet.
No, because it's a rescue operation. They're in some sort of building that looks like it's collapsing. He runs. I think they're in like a hospital or something. And then he runs into opens a door from a stairwell. He's like, "Is there anyone here who didn't get out? Anyone here?" He's calling out for.
And then he gets some people
for civilians. No, he doesn't get anyone out. There's nobody there, but like the black hole opens up.
Because I remember I just watched this a little while ago.
So did I.
He got the people out.
Yeah,
there were people in there first. He got them out.
Yeah,
and then that hole shows up. And then he reaches in there. It's like, oh, you have to, because he sees somebody in there.
Yeah, because he sees there's an outline of a person in there,
yeah.
And he's like, and he runs towards it, and seemingly gets pulled in. We don't exactly know what happens. Maybe they'll explain more later. It's
mystery.
Like, oh my god, it's like they're actually building to something.
Mystery.
It's like. God, you think about the last couple Ultramen we've watched. It's like they established the main character in the first episode and like they don't really develop much from there. And then in this one, by episode 3, it's like we still don't know everything about any of these people. I mean, like we know enough we know enough, but it's like we don't know everything about them and they're leaving things to be discovered.
Episode 3, I feel like Henri really enough got the most focus in this episode.
And I think that's good because when she was in her old unit, she was kind of treated like second banana.
Yeah.
She wasn't really taken seriously, and then
like she's being asked her opinion.
Yeah, like here it's like the 5 of them, they are a team, yeah. And I love Gento's reaction when or his order I should say when they first team up and they're inspecting their team vehicle for the first time, their team van. And he's like, Henri calls him Captain. He's like, no. First names only. We're gonna keep things casual here. You don't have to call me sir. Just call me by my first name, or I won't answer. And he starts walking away. And Henri's like, Captain Hiruma, Captain Genta. Yeah, what is it? And then he answers to the last one, and it's so great.
I really like her. Also, the fact that she's the one who's just like, all right, if we defeated the monster here, it'll blow up and take away, like, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get it out to the ocean, do some hand-to-hand combat, and then blow it up out there with Earth Girl.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really talked about here, but that's the thing.
This Earth Goron. Man, I love this robot. I love this thing. There's something about it that, like, more than any, because we've had in the past, I think Zet might have been the last one that had one, where we had, like, a big robot that our Special Forces unit was piloting alongside.
Yeah, because the one in Decker was just, like, the combo ship.
Yeah. But so many of them look so stupid.
Also, I did have that one at the end.
Like, the one in Zet in particular looked really, really dumb.
You mean Scavenger?
they look like children's toys from the show era.
That's because they were from the show era.
And
they were from 7.
There you go. And it didn't look very good. And then you have this thing, and it looks like something, I mean, not that this could really exist, I mean, it could, but like, there's so much attention to detail in this where it feels like this is something that could feasibly be piloted.
Also, I love the color scheme.
Yeah, the color scheme's great. The way the cockpit looks is great. The way there's so many just like pistons and things and like moving parts on it that it feels like the texture on like whatever's on like, you know, what it's made of, it looks tangible.
Yeah.
It looks like something that could be piloted, and I love that. And that's one of the things about the amphibious kaiju in the second episode that I like so much was just the way it looks, and also like the texture on its skin. The texture on its skin, like you could see like so many individual scale patterns as it was on land with like water running down. It looks so good.
Yasunobu was one of the ones who actually helped come up with Earth Garon.
Mm-hmm. He's their inventor.
Yeah, he's their mechanic specialist of them. So when they're having like the whole like training session inside of Earth Garon for everybody who's going to pilot it, for the 5 of them, he's basically, you know, telling them, this is what this is, this is what this does. Please refer to this part of the 1,400th page.
I love that training montage so much because we get to see everyone's different strengths.
Henri coming down from the trees.
Yep.
And just attacking them.
Yeah. Because it starts out there like running, you know, they're doing some like long distance running, and Emmy is, you know, she was a special forces. She's able to just run right past them.
Yeah.
And then we get to close quarters combat in the forest.
Full gear too.
Yeah, and Henri is able to just take everyone out when they're training in the forest with close combat. They're in the mech, and Yasunobu is just like, yeah, this does this, this does this, this does this, and we see the other people who are exceeding in other things, like struggling in the other areas.
Teraraki is out there with like the
miniatures. I love that. The miniature, and he's planning tactics operations because he's second in command, and I just love this scene so much. It's so good.
The only thing that I really want from this show going forward, besides just to keep as good as
keep it up,
I want Henri and possibly Yasunobu, because I've seen that dude's Instagram. Jesus Christ, they're both so jacked. Oh, they are jacked. So I really want them to have a on-the-ground fight scene with an alien. I want another Laiha moment where I just don't know what to do with myself and I'm freaking out.
That'd be nice.
It's what I want. Give it to me.
Please do. So, are there any other moments or anything that sticks out to you?
I just like it.
Yeah, same. It's really good so far.
And I want it to be this good going forward. If we get to G levels again.
I was going to say, already this is the best it's been since G.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I just want that, but like the whole
show, of course. Yeah.
I want mysteries. I want each team member to get something that really speaks to them. Mm-hmm. And I want them all to get focused. Even in 25 episodes, as long as we don't end up having any more goddamn clip show episodes. Because I think Decker had like 3. And just like this show
it was like episodes. A 25 episodes with like 2 or 3 clip shows.
And I'm just like, you don't need this. So I think going forward, if we don't get that, and we just get more episodes to really focus on the members individually and not just the Ultra, that would do wonders.
But yeah, I think that'll do it.
Yeah. I really like
First impressions, very, very positive.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see
Probably the most positive I've been on a first impressions ever.
I excitement.
Yes.
So much. Just give it to me.
Please do. But that'll do it for us. Have you seen the first 3 episodes? If you have, please do let us know in the comments below what you thought.
All right. Don't forget to join us on all the things. And next weekend will be a Mega Monster Battle, which will be the complete opposite of this.
Yes, it will.
But yeah, don't forget to join us on all the things. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.